You can just see the growth and the comfort level out of these kids when you just make them do it every day and they build a relationship.
Built in 1917 and once one of the oldest Ford dealerships in the country, the Ford building in Malvern has been fully remodeled into a modern, multi-use space. It has apartments, business suites, and office space for rent. It blends big city style with the charm of small town living. A historic landmark ready for today's dreamers and doers.
So that's in the time. And then he's like, what are you gonna do? He goes, I'll probably just come right in. So he's never retired, but still go back up to the shop.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Right? That's why it would be perfect.
Yes.
And he was always saying about how younger people need to get doing it.
Get tickets for the good shows.
Yep.
We have some cool tools. That's what I've been told.
I'm a retired x-ray tech, so trades have been my life. My whole family participates in trades through farming, through CDL instructors now at iWestern, and also commercial sprayer, welding, construction, those types of things. So I appreciate each and everything that you guys have done. Switch has been under construction for the past year. It's been daunting, but it's necessary. This is a 60-some-year-old building. It was originally a K through 12 as Nishnah Valley. They brought 4 towns together to make one school. And then from there, we partnered with Malvern School District as Nishnah Valley, came East Mills. And then in 2020, 2021 area, we decided to pass a bond. And through that conversation, iWestern came on board, IJAG came on board to talk to East Mills and said, what do we do with this building? And so that's where the CTE, Career and Technical Education idea was born. And so iWestern has been a partner of ours from the very, very beginning. And Matt Mancuso is here, Natalie Harris, Brianne Dude, and they're going to open up their classrooms so you guys can see what trades are actually happening out here at Switch. We have students. There's one strand that'll start this fall, construction trades. So there aren't any students in that class yet, but there will be. And right now, HVAC, Bill Watson is here. He's the teacher. He's the adjunct instructor. He's been great, and the students have been wonderful. Ms. Dutzman was over here. She's a principal at Glenwood, and the students, they came to see what the students were doing. And when the first 6 weeks, those students popped right up and they told them exactly what they were doing with their equipment. And I just thought that was so outstanding. And it's something that you want. And as tradesperson, and I was talking to Carlene Hall this past week on a podcast, and I said, the fact that students drive here from Glenwood tells me as a director that these students are committed to their trade. So that should tell you as an employer, they're going to show up to work. And really, when you know that they're going to go to Switch or our sister, which is Glenwood Pathways, you should know that those students are going to be ready and prepared for work. And so I hope that you are looking to what we're providing through iWestern. That's one of our partners. So high level, what is Switch? We have been recently rebranded as Switch Southwest Iowa Technical Career Hub, Lakin Foundation Training Hub. So the Lakins have invested in us. They've provided $1 million to renovate the front facade. So those are all new windows, all new front space. There'll be 3 conference rooms up front as well. So that'd be something as you as trades folks, if you need to have business meetings or training, feel free to utilize those spaces. They'll be rentable. But we rent space to educational partners, provide their expertise. And so we offer that space to anyone from pre-K to adult learners and everything in between. And they pay rent, and that rent pays our bills because we're a nonprofit. And so we grew from 2 partners last year and a building full of furniture. And some people in this room can attest to that. And now we're up to 8 partners and we're almost full. We only have 4 rooms left. And so we've had tremendous growth this past year. We've gone from paying a little bit of our bills to 15% of our bills to 80% of our bills in this next year. So it's just been tremendous growth this past year. East Mills has been our partner who takes care of the bills. This is their building. They own that. We lease it from them, and then they allow us to sublease it. And so that's how that partnership and that business model is made. So like I said, we have pre-K, we have K through 5, we have junior high coming this fall, and then we have Iowa Western with the high school students and adult learners. And Clarkson College is here as well. Green Hills AEA, Area Education Agency, is moving in this space this fall. And so that'll fill up the space for everything else. So welcome to Switch. And we're excited to share a little bit today. I would love to learn about your trade. So if there's a time for us to pull aside and talk about it, I'd love to listen to what you do. So thank you. Turn over to the next.
Katie's birthday today, so happy birthday. Thank you.
Looks like you guys are front row.
Speaker, Nathan Berry. Nathan has more than 15 years of higher education experience in both faculty and administrative roles. He joined Metro Community College in 2016 as the Dean of Career and Technical Education. Prior to joining higher education, he worked in construction and land development, holding a variety of roles as the Vice President of Strategic Operations and Initiatives. He leads the strategic planning efforts, including facilities planning, development, and overall facilities operations. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Construction Management from the University of Nebraska-Kearney, a Master's in Business Administration from Mid-American Nazarene University, and a PhD in Engineering from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Nate Berry.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That was off the MCC website. What it should have said is I'm a carpenter from Woodbine. That's what it should have said. So I'm a product of Southwest Iowa. Literally, construction changed my life. So it took me about 2 seconds to say yes when they said, "Hey, we're having this trades appreciation breakfast. Could you come and talk about something?" And I said, "Absolutely." Plus, they always feed us really well. So, but before we start, we do need to say thank you because this event does not just get pulled off overnight. So good job to the entire planning team for putting this together. I'm just going to take about 15 minutes of your time. I want to have a conversation, but I think it's my duty to talk to you about what we're doing at the community colleges. And I'm glad Iowa Western's here. We are great partners. We share everything across the spectrum from curriculum. What are you doing? What's working? Because nobody, not one school is going to solve this skills workforce issue alone. So I want you to know, first and foremost, we all work together, and it starts with partnerships. So I'm glad that you mentioned that this entire building is based on partners. So, but we owe it to you as educators to tell you that we are changing. Because I'll be honest with you, we have failed, right? We have failed getting your workforce ready for you as employers. Who's hired somebody either out of high school or out of a technical college and then had to retrain them in the first 6 months? I heard a little laughter. We have one honest person in the front row. Heck, I did. I worked construction the moment I was 16 and could drive. I was on a roof, right? And I worked construction. My mom and dad made me go to college because back then, by God, you had to go to a 4-year school. I went to the 4-year school, didn't know what the heck I was going to do, but worked construction during my entire 4 years. The advisor called me and was like, "Dude, you got to pick a major." So I was like, "I don't know. I work construction." They said, "Well, we got this construction management degree." I said, "Perfect, great." Honestly, if we had the technical schools we did today, I would have gone the technical school route 100% because I love this industry. But what I found out when I got into the field and was a project manager and superintendent, now I was being the one hiring people, I had to retrain them all, right? Because what they learned in school was not what we were doing out in the field. So when I had an opportunity to go back and teach at the university for 8 years, my whole goal at the university was to change the system. Well, I'll tell you right now, the universities are really hard to change. They are huge ships that do not want to change. They're doing excellent stuff in research and changing the world in so many ways, but when it comes to the skilled workforce, that is not their game. The technical schools, the community colleges, that is where we come in. And I think that's frankly where we're thriving. In fact, the New York Times just posted an article last week that said starting salaries out of technical schools are now at or above bachelor degrees. That is a game changer, because for generations and generations, and I'm sure we all heard it when we were kids, oh, you have to have a bachelor's degree, you have to have a master's degree. Times are changing, folks. So that's what I'm here to kind of tell you what we're doing at the community college, very similar to what Iowa Western is doing in a lot of their awesome programs. But I want you to know we are changing. I just want to give you a little bit of what that looks like. So let's talk education. This will probably hit home. In fact, it looks really similar to the way we're set up now. We grab all kids, all of them, K through 12, and for 18 years or so, we say, come to a classroom, sit in nice rows, eyes forward. We used to give you a book, and now we open up a computer in front of you, but we all expect you to learn the same way, right? Am I the only one that had that experience? Did you enjoy it? No, these two almost turned around and left because they didn't want to sit in the front row, right? They're like, there's no way. I had to sit in the front row in 5th grade. The teacher got mad at me, right? Yeah, right? But honestly, that factory model is what we've been doing in education for years. We have to change that because it's not working, right? We've got a generational message saying we've got to get kids college ready. We've got to give them standardized tests. You know, we're going to give everybody the same book, the same thing. And then at the end of graduation, we're going to rank you. We're going to say you're the smartest kid in the class and you're the 40th smartest kid in the class. Is there a problem with that? Yeah, there is a problem with that, because ultimately, what are we telling these kids? That as their brains are developing, we're telling them you're not smart enough. That is ridiculous, right? We've got to change that. And oh, by the way, we get all these kids to go college ready, and what's the cost of higher education doing? It's ridiculous. I've got a freshman in college right now. Holy smokes. Thank God he got scholarships, because otherwise, I don't know how we were going to do it. Some of you are probably in that same situation. It has gotten crazy, right?
2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them. And that's why you're going to work till you're 80, right?
So
And then some. Yeah. Okay. So the cost of higher ed is going crazy, and the earnings coming out of that. In fact, this should blow your mind. The state of California did a statewide research project. They said if 100 kids start 9th grade as freshmen, this is California, we're better in California, but in California, only 70 of them graduate in 4 years. So right there, only 70% of kids are graduating high school in 4 years. And of those 70, about 27 to 30 of them are enrolling in a university or a college, okay? So 30% of them are taking on that debt and enrolling in a university. Of those 100, only 7% of the students are getting a job that required the bachelor's degree that they got it in. 7%. We're telling 93% of the population that they wasted their time. They still got the debt, right? They've still got all that stuff. 7%, that's how good we've been as a university in higher ed historically. We are failing you. We're failing the workforce, right? So we started to change that here, especially at the community college. We saw, and this goes back all the way to 2010, 2012, of the skilled workforce shortage. Anybody working in 2007, 2008? Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was in the field. Holy smokes. 2004, 2005, it was a gravy train. 2008, oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll do work for you. Whatever you're going to pay us, we'll do it, right? It was really hard. Well, then we started to come out of that. A lot of people left our industry, the economy picked up, and that's where that skilled workforce shortage came. 2012, 13, 15, economy picked up, and we just did not have those skilled workforce people anymore. A lot of them left the industry, decided not to come back. So as MCC, we actually got involved because of the philanthropic group in the industry in the Omaha and Southwest Iowa area, and they said, you've got to do something different. So that's when I was able to come to MCC in 2016 and said, if we're gonna do anything, we have to get industry partners involved at the front and not at the back end, right? We've got to stop thinking we can train these kids for you without asking you what you need and then giving them to you. And you say, well, it's a warm body, I guess we'll take them, right? But then we'll retrain them, right? You've said that, haven't you?
Exactly.
Right? We've been doing it all the time. So we started a new approach to education in 2016-17 at MCC specifically for the trades. And it started with our Construction Education Center. We had an HVAC program out at Elkhorn. We had a construction program in Bellevue. We had our electrical program at another site. And we trained them all there. And then they got into the industry and we said, what? Hey, you got to learn to work with each other, right? Well, I don't want to work with the electricians, right? Well, I don't want to. Architects are stupid. They never design it right, so I got to build it, right? We said, we got to stop that. So we built a construction education center with the idea, let's bring all the related programs under one building and let's cross-train them, where they teach and they learn their specific trades, but then we have collaboration opportunities for the plumbers and electricians and HVAC people to work together, for the architect and the carpenter to work together, right? All those kind of things. And we built a state-of-the-art building. We said this needs to look and feel like industry. So if you were to come in, has anybody by chance happened to ever tour the Construction Education Center? Does it look like a traditional educational space? No, it doesn't. It was about, at the time, it was about a $25, $30 million facility. It cost us probably $80 million today to build, but it's 100,000 square feet, all built for industry. 80% training labs. So this just happens to be our HVAC residential classroom where we have real air handlers talking to the furnaces and students are in there working 80% of the time. Very little stuff is done in a classroom and the classrooms don't look like this. Because we know students that when they come into the trades probably didn't have a great high school educational experience. So we wanted to just change it completely. We wanted it to feel like they were coming to work when they came in. So we've got pre-construction design labs. We've got a center space where we actually build a single family house in the building. Our architecture students design it. They have to work with the construction students on how they're going to build it. Our HVAC, our plumbing, our electrical students wire it. Our interior carpentry students finish it. And then we work with a nonprofit and then donate it to the community. So it's of no cost to us. This capstone project is so popular. We had students take so much ownership that when we did this, we got a little behind. Sometimes we get behind in construction. Christmas break hit. We had students, when I was the dean, students came to me and said, can I come in over Christmas break because I didn't finish the siding and I don't want somebody else to finish my work. To have an 18-year-old kid take ownership like that, that's a game changer, right? This is my favorite part of the building. We call it the store. We needed a place to house all our materials, our tools, all those kind of things. And what's the number one thing you think we hear from industry about what you want in a new employee? Can they show up on time? Can they talk, right? Can they communicate? And if they happen to have technical skills, great, right? So our students in this building, if they're working on an electrical project, they write their own work order. They have to physically walk into the store. They have to talk to an adult, which is really hard to do. Use the right industry terminology, get their tools for the day, get their material, and then take it back and do their work. It's that kind of daily exercise. It's so funny, at the beginning of fall, students will walk in and they'll say, I need this. And then by the end of the quarter of the semester, it's like, God, where did Joe go? Well, he's in there shooting the shit with our store guy, right? Having popcorn, and you can just see the growth and the comfort level out of these kids when you just make them do it every day and they build a relationship. So this is my favorite part of the building. It's that kind of interactions that we're trying to do. We're also trying to make sure that it's not just the high school graduates. We've really kind of built this K through 12 spectrum because we've got to get kids excited about the trades earlier. So we're doing college for kids, college for teens. We have 8-year-olds in the summer that are coming for week-long boot camps and building little things that are, safe for them to build, but using the tools all the way through high school academies where we have kids that come every afternoon from local high schools they're actually starting their programs at the schools. We opened this up in 2017, and across 7 different programs, from welding to architecture to civil engineering to plumbing, electrical, HVAC, we had an enrollment of just a little over 800 students. Now, this is the Omaha metro area, so there's about 40,000 students in the Omaha metro area, so we've got a really big pool. We had about 800 students when we opened the building. Last fall, close to 1,700, and we've got 300 students on the wait list. 300 students that couldn't get into the trades programs. What I'm telling you is this idea that kids don't want to work and they don't want to go into the trades isn't true. They don't know what it is. They're scared because they don't know what it is, but once they find out, they get really excited about it. So we took that model from the Construction Education Center. We then did it for manufacturing. In 2021, we have a Center for Advanced Manufacturing, where we took all those programs and put them into a hub. And in 2022, we opened up a new automotive training center for the automotive industry down at our South Omaha campus. And we've seen the same results in manufacturing and automotive as we have with construction. We opened up our automotive training center with 2 programs: auto mechanic, auto collision. You're either gonna fix dents or you're gonna fix engines. Those were our 2 programs we had. That was 5 years ago. We have 7 different specialty programs already in our automotive program. We have a national Toyota program where Toyota across the country is hiring students out of high school, paying them and saying, but you're spending the next 2 years in Omaha, Nebraska. Same thing with Mopar, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge. We started a new power sports program for small engines and those kind of things. These are all full as well in just 5 years. Again, working with the industry partners, building state-of-the-art facilities that replicate the technology that our industries have does get kids excited about our programs and about the trades. I talked about this a little bit. We've also gone away from this idea that you go to elementary school, and then you go to middle school, and then you go to high school, and then you go to get your associate's degree, and then if you want to, your bachelor's degree. The stepping stones of education, we've completely gotten rid of that. And we said, what if education and training was a superhighway with on-ramps and off-ramps? Where if you need to learn this to do your job, and it takes you 8 weeks, then come to us for 8 weeks. Go back to work. Because we know our industries are changing so fast, 2 years from now, you're gonna have to learn something else. So then come back to us for a 5-week program. The state, the Department of Education at the state and national level, they're the only ones that care about the associate degree or the bachelor's degree. Do you care? No. I frankly don't care. I wanna know you can do the job, right? And how fast can you do the job? So we're kind of fighting the system a little bit, and we think the system's gonna catch up to us, where short-term credentials, specific training, come when you need to, and then go back to work and then come back again. That lifelong learner mentality, right? The educational superhighway. And you should all be really proud that Iowa Western and MCC and your local community colleges are building this system. Because across the country, they're not there yet. So that's why we're kind of tackling it. But it doesn't work without our industry partners. One last stat before I kind of open it up and we can have a conversation is we've gone from asking industry partners to, hey, what should the curriculum look like? Can you sit on an advisory board? To, hey, we have a high school student that just graduated that wants to go into welding. Hey, Logier, could you hire him part-time? And then we'll build custom curriculum for the job he's doing, and we'll just bill you for his tuition. Because it costs, to get an associate degree probably at Iowa Western and MCC, what, $8,000 probably? Less than $10,000, right? These companies are spending way more than that recruiting and training them. So we go to the companies and we say, how about you hire a student that already said they want to go into your industry, pay them part-time, and then we'll send you the tuition bill. It's not a $10,000 bill up front, it's $400 at a time for every quarter. And if the student leaves, they leave. We've been doing this for about 7 years now. Right now, today at MCC, we have over 300 students that are fully sponsored by their industry partners. So the companies are paying for them to go to school. And these companies, I'm sure some of you are thinking like, well, great, I'm going to pay them, and then they're going to leave as soon as they graduate. Two times in the last 10 years, a student has left the company. What they found out is these companies or these kids are so grateful. They're their best employees. They're their best employees. In fact, Logier Manufacturing Company, 40% of their workforce on the floor today went through our sponsorship program. They do not hire somebody unless they're going to put them into a sponsorship program. One other thing I'll tell you, we have over a 90% completion rate for students that are sponsored by companies because they get it, right? They're working in the field, they're coming to class, they don't drop out, they don't quit. Over 90% of students complete when they're sponsored. That's the secret sauce right there. So I talked kind of fast, but I wanted to just open it up to see what you guys are struggling with, what questions I might be able to answer, or our friends from Iowa Western might be able to answer about this new educational superhighway. Yeah.
On the electrical side.
Yeah.
An electrical contract.
Yep.
Our apprentices have to go through a 4-year
Yep.
process.
Mhm.
They also have to work for 4 years at the exact same.
Correct.
So I've talked to a number of apprentices that literally graduate high school, go straight to college.
Yep.
And they lock into college. And I
Yep.
tell them you're wasting your time.
Yep.
Because they'll go to college for a year or two, then come back out into the field. And when they come into the field, they've lost 2 years of their
Yeah.
workforce time,
Yep.
which holds them back from taking their journey
Yep.
test.
Yep.
And on the electrical side, we're required to have 4 years work, 4 years
Yep.
of
So-
schooling. So do you guys have like night systems and things like that?
So we have two paths. So we've worked with the state of Nebraska Electrical
Yep.
Authority or whatever it is. We have two paths. We have an evening electrical apprenticeship path
Okay.
it's 4 years
Yep.
for students that are working in the field. They come at night to us. We also have, for that student that isn't employed yet, we have a 1-year associate degree fast track program in electrical.
Yep.
And then if they complete that, the state gives them 1 year off of their apprenticeship so they can take the test 1 year earlier.
Okay.
So the state of Nebraska has done that. I don't know about Iowa.
Well, most of the guys anyways go and take the state of Nebraska test.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
'cause right?
reciprocate it over to
Yep.
Iowa a year
Yep.
later. Because
Yeah.
Iowa's fairly new into
Yep.
the electrical
Yep.
licensing side of it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that they have that
Yeah.
because I've talked to a number of kids here in the Glenwood area that
Yeah.
I know that I tell them, it's like, if you are going to leave high school
Yep.
and you're looking at getting into the electrical field,
Yep.
don't go to college, you're holding yourself
Yep.
back.
So it's interesting. So the electrical organizations have done that and they allow the students to test a year earlier. And our enrollment numbers are through the roof in electrical.
Okay.
Plumbing industry has fought us on that, and we don't have hardly any kids in our plumbing.
Yeah. And
So-
it's the struggle because
Yeah.
I agree with you. I've had a number of kids come out of college and say, I went to college for a year on electrical. They
Yep.
come in, I tell them you're starting at the exact same
Yep.
wage as a kid that
Yep.
just graduated
Yep.
high school because
Yep.
all I do is have to retrain.
Yeah. In
All
fact,
the stuff you learned at college doesn't translate into the actual field
Yep.
of that. The ones that do the night classes and they work and get
Yep.
trained at the same time, it works so
Yep.
much.
so we've got about 150 kids in our evening electrical apprenticeship program, and we have about 300 kids in our electrical technology program, the 1-year fast track program. It's just going like gangbusters. In fact, the IBEW in Omaha, the electrical union, has vetted our program, and if you graduate from that 1-year program, they start you out as a 2nd-year apprentice
Okay.
in the union. So, but yeah, and those are the kind of conversations we had to have,
Yeah.
because otherwise I couldn't tell a kid to come to school, go work, right? Yeah.
And it's one of those, I'll end up chatting with you more because I have electrical apprentices that
Good.
go through and do stuff. Right now, we go to ABC.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
where we send them with-
Yep.
They do decent,
Mhm.
and I know I've seen kids that have came out of the nighttime classes and
Yeah.
that it's a little nicer to have that kind of setup than
Yeah.
what ABC does.
Yeah.
But it is one of those is that like I said, I have that struggle with having kids that have done a 1-year college thing, they come out with a certain mindset, and then I basically take them out in the work field, and I'm like, yeah, I
Yep,
can't even let you do this.
that's right.
So,
Yeah.
but, okay,
Yeah.
I'll end up chatting with you more about it.
Yeah.
So,
And as those kind of things change, we as the community college, we need to know those kind of things because we need to make those adjustments as well.
And I
So,
mean, I've been doing this since the early 90s.
Yeah.
That's the first I've heard that the guys that do the 1-year accelerated.
Yep, they get a
that
year off.
Nebraska's
Yep.
actually allowed that to skip.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
it's a good thing. It's something to let, because I mean, I live here in Glenwood. I
Mhm.
talk to a number of high school kids going through that site.
Yep.
And that, so it's just one of those things to recommend to them, or one of the things that they can look at.
Yeah,
So,
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would say at Iowa Western, we actually just launched an HVAC and plumbing
Yeah.
apprenticeship program that takes place in the evenings. We started in January and February. Very similar. We also have credit and diploma programs at Iowa Western, and we provide credit for prior learning into our apprenticeship programs for those that maybe started on the credit or diploma side, but then I want to jump into our apprenticeship program.
And
I would also say that 90% of our students in the electrical program are high school students who are just trying to get the trades experience. So we probably have 10%, and they are told right away that they will not be able to, they will have to still do their 4-year apprenticeship and everything like that. And they might want to do that because they don't have the trades background, that they aren't comfortable jumping into a job right now. So, or they just might want a college experience. So we do translate that to them as well.
So like with Iowa Western, you guys are mainly all daytime, like the electrical apprenticeship, because electrical is one of the main ones, especially here on the Iowa side, that if you're not working and doing school at the same time, you
Correct.
get held back.
Electrical apprenticeships in the evening.
Is it,
And
okay,
the electrical training or the credit program was in the evening for probably the last 5-6 years as well. I know that they're translating that into the daytime just because there were more high school students than people just
doing
enrolling.
that.
So,
And I'll put a plug in for both Iowa Western and MCC. In order for our training to work for you, we need 3 things. We need space, we need equipment and curriculum, which we can figure out, qualified instructors. We need instructors from the field. That is very difficult to find. But unless you have all 3 of those, you can't have a successful program.
I was one for ABC for 4 years.
Yeah.
Then I had kids and.
Yep. Yeah. And I will tell you, it's not for everybody, but I think especially when I talk to our industry partners, they're like, I would never teach. It is not like you think. It's get rid of your experience. Can you go into a shop and hang out with these kids that actually are interested in what you're doing and teach them a little bit? Our best way of recruitment, I'm sure Iowa Western does the same thing. We talk you into being an adjunct. Hey, come teach us one class. And then after a couple of years, it's like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. You're like, really? We got a full-time job. But would you agree that finding qualified instructors is the key to it? So.
It's more like being a mentor.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
And from our apprentices, that's one of the biggest things that they take out of it,
Mhm.
is they know they'll go 2nd year electrical and they'll love their teacher because they learned so
Yeah.
much, and then they go into 3rd year and it's like, this guy doesn't teach me anything.
Yeah. Yep.
He just makes us read from the book and hands us a packet.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
mean, I've seen it, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say from an education standpoint, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
It's like industry partners who can help kids get the taste of the hands-on experience, the job shadowing. Come teach it like the Switch or the Pathway Center. Like currently we have some openings that aren't filled.
Yeah.
We're hoping for an adjunct plumbing.
Yeah.
And hang out with these kids. We have some kids coming over for an HVAC program. Absolutely love doing
Yeah.
that education.
And
And they're hooked once they have a taste of that.
And if you talk about the challenges at the high school level, the shop classes have gone away and these new pathways are being built. And I have not talked to a high school in Southwest Iowa or Omaha that doesn't want to provide that for their students. But we can talk about the Department of Education. You have to have a bachelor's degree at minimum to teach at a high school. And then they're going to start you at $36,000 a year. Well, nobody from the trades is going to go take that. So what we have done, because we know that we need to help our high school partners, we have probably 9 full-time MCC instructors that are teaching in the high schools. because we can pay them a little more. Not as much as industry, but we can pay them definitely way more than the high schools can. Because we, as community colleges, we've got to help our K-12 partners because you can't do it. K-12 cannot find a shop teacher. And even if you can find a shop teacher, think of the details that you need for plumbing or electrical or HVAC or welding or automotive. You can't expect one person to be an expert in all those things. It's difficult. Yeah.
In the state of Iowa, you get CTE certified to do that.
That's correct. Talk about that a little bit.
So, I think it's 6,000 hours. So if you can verify that you have 6,000 hours in the field, then we can take you to the BOE and help you get certified. We've done that. I'm a retired superintendent. We've done that around here for a while. So,
But it's still challenging to meet the wage demands though, right? Even if you can get them certified.
well, I mean, obviously now as a beginning teacher at 50,000 in Iowa. So
Yeah.
with benefits, I mean, it's not,
Yeah.
what some of you guys make with, the trades, but
Yeah.
beats kicking the ass.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Yeah. Good point.
My son, the electrician, said, because we've had these conversations, and he said, because, sorry, you guys, but your bodies wear out. I mean, he's 38, 39, and he's already starting to kind of think about wearing out a little bit. And we've had this conversation. How do you get guys that have been in the trades? And I know that certification, but the money becomes the
Yeah.
issue. And here's his theory. I'll just throw it out there. We can retire, we can draw our pension, pay our damn health insurance. So if school districts, his theory, for whatever it's worth, he's 38, whatever. His theory is, I probably wouldn't mind going and hanging out at a high school working with kids, but somebody needs to pay my health insurance. I can live off of what you pay me in my pension, but pay my health insurance. And that may, I don't know, that may be an option for getting these guys who are ready to kind of get out of the pounding your bodies every day, being on your feet every day, and get them into working with high school kids. If there can be a collaboration at that level, is his theory, for whatever it's worth.
So if you're an employee for me at the school district, I'd get you single insurance. No. I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
So that your comment there, we can easily have that conversation. That's not an end all for sure.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Yeah.
I've been teaching EMS for 20 years.
Yeah.
You want to talk about frustrating for 20 years. So I have to teach all my students, EMTs, medics, you have to learn this for the National Registry.
Mhm.
And in the same sentence, I'm going to tell you, you need to know this. And when you get out in the field, forget what I just taught you. Forget it, because that's not how you do it in real life.
Yeah.
And I'm being as honest as I'm a 30-year medic. I'm being as honest as the rest of my medics that I've taught with. All going to tell you the same thing. You need to learn this. You need to pass this for the test. But once you get done with the test, forget you ever learned that, because that's not true.
Yeah.
And there's no way to get over that.
That's the balance, right?
We in EMS as instructors would love to fix that, but there's no way to fix it. And then to make it even worse, all of our students have to do ride time, right? So I have a medic student. You're learning this, You're going to go out, you're going to go ride with me on the squad. You're going to watch what I do, get done with the shift and go, what the hell did we do? I've never even heard of anything like that. I know nothing about that. Well, that's because I did it in real life, not what the test told you to do.
Yeah.
I want to fix it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how.
So is that are those state license requirements or national?
Requirement.
Yeah. Well, DC seems to be going fine, so just go to DC and fix that. So I'm sure it won't be a problem at all.
Because I think of EMS as a trade.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think of being a medic as a welder. I learned this to do this.
Yep. By the way, we're building a new first responders building next year for EMS, police, and fire.
You know,
So,
look,
yeah,
I know.
it's gonna be cool.
But your instructors, they're going to tell you the same thing I do.
Oh no, they do all the time.
Yeah.
We'll say he's looking for an instructor. That's the big thing they're looking for.
Always. No, right. Yeah. So, well, listen, I'm just going to end by saying thank you for all you do. Find ways to get involved at the high school. These kids are excited about your trades. They're just not always great at showing it, and let the community colleges, let the schools, we're a safe place for them to fail, right? You can't afford for them to fail on your job site. You're trying to make money. That's what we do. We let them fail. We ask them why. We teach them. We train them. So So let's find better ways to be partners. So thank you all very much. My contact's up there. I'll leave some cards in the back if you want to get a hold of me or if you just want to grab a coffee and talk. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good conversation, good information. I also want to offer to you, Switch provides a STEM festival. This will be our third year doing it. First year had 70-some students come, and this year, or last year, we had 167 show up. This is for age 7 and 8 grades. And we've had some of you in the room come over and talk to the 8th graders, and they've loved every minute of it. They act like they don't know you and don't care, but they really do enjoy the information that you're providing to them. Devin is back in the back. She's going to wave a hand here. We need business partners to showcase what you do at our STEM festival, which is the last Tuesday of April. And it's something that we're trying to grow our business partners, and we will guide you and coach you so that you don't have to be intimidated by 8th graders and 7th graders. Really, it's just an interactive opportunity. We try to work really hard with partners in the space. So IJAG, Mr. Nordine here, and his partner Sean Shea will have an IJAG career fair, but that's high school students. And so we do junior high, they do high school. So you can see that collaboration piece that we're doing there. I'd love to have each and every one of you come, showcase what you do. It could be as simple as bringing a power tool and letting them screw that in and out of the board the whole time. That's it. They love touching power tools. So it's very simple. It's not hard. Don't overthink it. But again, welcome. And I'm going to have Jitsi come up here next.
Okay, everybody, if you can pass these down, we have a survey. We want to keep growing this event every year. So if you guys can just be as honest as possible as to what went well, what can improve, what you'd like to see going forward. I mean, ideally, we'd love to open this into a bigger space and then have many people and vendors and all that stuff. So just be honest and sharing what you think would make it better. Thank you to our sponsors. So we have Western Iowa Network, obviously Switch, Lesville Landfill, Holographs Energy, Home Energy, Apollo Heating and Air, and Iowa Western. So thank you. A big thank you to Luke Peveril, who this would not happen without her passion for this. So Lou, thank you, and Todd for everything that you guys do. I can't tell you the amazingness of these people. You know, just like in your work, you're doing things and people you may not feel recognized for it or seen every day. Lou and Todd are the same way, so I really appreciate having them.
Prom season is coming fast, and Inspire Couture in Glenwood has the dress that feels like you. From sleek and modern to bold and unforgettable, every gown is handpicked to help you shine. Find your perfect fit, feel confident, and make prom night one to remember. Only at Inspire Couture.